Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, over the past year, we have had an amazing run here. Our channel has grown, and we've had an opportunity to kind of spread our audience to more areas than just Washington State, and I have had an amazing interaction with many of you lawful and responsible gun owners nationwide. Now listen, we are coming up on election season here. We're only a few weeks away from Election Day, and there's some big issues kicking around in other parts of the country that if you're not aware of them, you probably should be. And today I'm going to talk about a really unique issue taking place in the state of Iowa. It's on the ballot. It's a big thing for the folks of Iowa, but it's something that all of us in the lawful and responsible gun owning community should be aware of and pay some very careful attention to some language that some smart people in Iowa may have come up with. So today, let's spend a few minutes and talk about, is Iowa about to finally protect its citizens' right to keep and bear arms? Okay, so the issue we're talking about today is ballot measure number 1 in the state of Iowa. Now listen, this came as a shock to me when I started reading up on this, but even though the great state of Iowa on their state flag has an image of a citizen soldier carrying a musket, the folks in Iowa who drafted the state constitution, not too sure how strongly they believed in that. You see, because even though Iowa became a shall issue state all the way back in 2010, so there's shall issue when it comes to concealed carry license, and then in 2021, they became a constitutional carry state. So it's not that Iowa has a reputation for being anti-Second Amendment, no, but here's the thing. The state of Iowa Constitution has no Second Amendment provision in there. Unlike for us here in Washington State, we have Article 1, Section 24. And almost every state in the country has within its state constitution some individual protections in the state constitution that also guarantees a citizen's right to keep and bear arms. Now, Iowa right now is on a very short list of only 6 states that do not have provisions in their state constitution. Now, the other 5 are some of the usual suspects, okay? It's California, it's New York, it's New Jersey, it's Maryland, it's Minnesota. It's no shocker to any of you, but Iowa certainly stands out on that list. Now, there is a long history of what it takes to, get a state, your state constitution amended in Idaho. It's very difficult in every state, and if you think it's difficult in the state, try it on the federal level. But Idaho, like every other state, has all sorts of procedural safeguards in place and a number of votes that need to be in favor of amending the state constitution before it can happen. And it actually requires both houses to vote for it, and then for it to be published to the public, and then to come back to both houses where it's voted on again, and then after that, it then goes to the public again on a ballot where the voters then approve it. And I'm not an Iowa folk, I don't understand all the history here, but apparently a past Secretary of State declined to publish the rule after it passed out of both houses a few years ago, and that threw the train off the tracks, and here we are finally coming to the point in which the citizens of Iowa get to vote, yay or nay, are they going to add to their state constitution some protections on the citizens' right to keep and bear arms. Now, this Iowa Freedom Amendment is being heavily spearheaded by the Iowa Firearms Coalition, a political action group there in the state of Iowa. Kudos to you guys out there. And we're going to put links down below. So for any of you around the country that want to get behind this cause, want to kick in some money here at the end, help them get this thing across the finish line, we're going to put links for all of the organizations that are supporting this measure down below. Now, here's the thing that I'm really excited about, because I took a look at the proposed language of what would go into the Iowa State Constitution. And whoever drafted this is pretty sharp. Now, you could tell this was drafted recently because you'll see the language that's used that would protect the citizens of Iowa moving forward. This constitutional amendment, if the whole purpose of a constitutional amendment is to act like a shield, not a sword, that is, it is to protect its citizens from government, then the drafters of this proposed amendment have really done a nice job. Because if enacted into law, the Iowa state constitution would have a new amendment which would read, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The sovereign state of Iowa affirms and recognizes this right to be a fundamental individual right. Any and all restrictions of this right shall be subject to strict scrutiny." Okay, and what I really like about that is that it's got some doomsday clauses in there. And what do I mean by that? Well, when they say that the state affirms that this is an individual right, let us not forget, if we look at the minority, the dissenting opinions, and the Heller opinion from back in the day, those in the minority, in the dissenting opinion, said there is no individual right to keep and bear arms. There's a prerequisite to having the right to keep and bear arms, and that's, of course, being a member of a well-regulated militia. So let us not forget that there is a political agenda out there that will not even acknowledge the individual's right to keep and bear arms. The state constitutional amendment would do that. Now, in addition to that, as we know, political winds shift directions as we go through the years. And with that, so does the political slant of appellate courts, including the United States Supreme Court. Now, clearly right now, the United States Supreme Court is very pro-Second Amendment, or what I would like to say is very consistent with the language of the Constitution. That being said, by adding the clause that any legislation will be analyzed under a strict scrutiny analysis moving forward, the drafters of this constitutional amendment have said, hey, listen, it doesn't matter what happens on the federal level. In the state of Iowa, if there is gun control legislation, we are going to apply a strict scrutiny analysis. There is no judge that can do anything different because they are constitutionally mandated to apply that standard. Listen, Iowa, you became a state in 1846. It is 2022. Yes, I think it is high time that you adopt this amendment. Listen, for all my viewers everywhere, if you want to get in and support this, if you want to help this thing get over the finish line, help the folks in Iowa get the constitutional protections that they deserve, that candidly they were born with, we'll put links down below for all of the organizations down there supporting it. I wish all my folks in Iowa well. Bring this thing across the finish line. Listen, if you have any questions about this or anything else related to your Second Amendment rights, remember, you can always contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or of course you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.